Hello, everybody, and welcome back to 50 Shades of Tay. I'm Taylor Gonzalez, and I am thrilled to have my guest here today. Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare is about to release in theaters for 3 days only. It's going to be in theaters from January 13th until January 15th from Iconic releasing here in the United States. And I have one of the stars of the film, and she is so good. She's fantastic in this film. So I'm like thrilled to speak with her, Megan Placito, who plays Wendy Darling. Megan, how are you doing today?
Hello, yes, I'm very well, thank you. It's so nice to speak with you. I'm so excited for this to come out. It honestly it meant so much to everybody who was working on this film, and yeah, we really put blood, sweat, and tears into it. So yeah.
Your performance is fantastic. But before we get into that, I just wanted to start off by wishing you a happy birthday because I know you
Oh
just
yes.
celebrated over the weekend. So exciting. What did you do to celebrate?
Oh yes. I'm a Sagittarius, so we love a party. So I just hung out with some of my friends and in London, and then me, because I'm a twin as well. We went to the Cotswolds and celebrated together. And if people don't know where the Cotswolds is, it's very cute countryside. Think the holiday, like it's very quaint and yeah, lovely.
Oh, that is so fun. I didn't know you were a twin. That's so exciting.
Yes, yes. Like she's the literal opposite of me though. She's I mean I'm very loud and she's very quiet and yeah, which is we balance each other out. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, that is so good to hear. I'm glad you had a fun birthday and you have
Yeah,
another
thank
reason to
you.
celebrate with this movie right around the corner. How excited are you
Yeah.
for people to finally get to see this film?
Oh my God, yeah. I just don't think people like are ready for like how much this film's gonna like make you feel. Like it's I mean, when I was younger, like always like my favorite horrors weren't just like, just the scare ones. Like I wanted to like feel something like, like my first horror I ever watched was Sixth Sense. Like I remember I just felt so connected to this character and the storylines. And I just think like this stuff, even though it's horror, like some of this stuff is real. Like this is real issues that we're talking about. And like Scott is an incredible writer and director. Wow. And he just like he just did everything with his mad crazy brain but also his heart. So yeah, guys, like get ready to scream, cry, and just be amazed.
Yeah, I am constantly blown away by Scott. Like he
Yes.
is so talented as a writer, as a director, as a producer. He's like the mastermind behind this whole Poohniverse. I can't believe, how much work he does and like his work ethic and just I
Mm,
don't know. I would love to one day work with him, but what was it like getting
yeah.
to work with him on this film?
Oh, it was amazing. And like because he's an actor, that's how he started. He like really respect it's real collaborative um sort of style of working. So I remember one of my favorite scenes to film was in I won't give anything away, but it was in the Darling household. And we just all improved it beforehand. And then Scott was like, no, I like that. Let's change that and let's do that. So the script was actually quite free at some points, which I think allowed us just to create that like chemistry within the family, which it had to be there because if you don't, that's why, that's why what this movie is about. It's about looking after my brother. But yeah, he just really created such a creative atmosphere. Like it was just so yeah, it was like we're all artists in the room, which was amazing.
And I think that's another thing that he has, working for him really well is he's also a terrific actor. Like in
Yes.
Blood and Honey 2, his role as Christopher Robin is so emotional. And everyone that I speak to, that's like one of the highlights of the film for them is just his performance. So I think that gives him a good insight when directing because it's like he knows what it's like to be, in your shoes, like as an actor, and he knows how to help get that performance out of people. So I just think that's another,
Yeah.
one of the many talented roles that he plays in doing all these
Yeah,
films.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've worked with a few directors and I think it's how you give a note. It's like you can either give a note like, okay, now cry now, or like, or be more emotional now. But the way he does it, he'll like take me aside and he'll like, I want you to imagine this and think about this. And he just like makes it so like stimulating and creative rather than, okay, I need to cry now. And yeah, it's yeah. So he's great.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think that the two of you working together really helped with your performances, Wendy, because I couldn't like take my eyes off your performance, and I just
Oh,
kept thinking like my whole time watching, I was like, this is going to be like a breakout role for you, and I'm wondering because this is going to get a lot of attention. It's going to be like your first huge movie
yeah.
role with all of the people who are seeing this and hopefully job opportunities that come after this. Is there a specific role that you have in mind? Like, I would love to play this type of character or something like that.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I just love roles that just like break boundaries, I guess. Just any there's a role, I'm not sure if you've seen it. Mikey Madison's Honora was the breakthrough performance. And it's oh God, it's just what a she was playing, like the character she was playing just broke all the boundaries of what you think that sort of girl is like. And I just don't know. I think film and theatre and art in general should just shake up people's ideas of things. And I just really like to play roles which like shake up the your idea of something. So I'm not sure if people have seen it. She is an exotic dancer, but like what you think that she may be like, she's not like that. And I love anything like that. So yeah, yeah. So if Sean Baker's watching this,
Oh my gosh,
let's go.
I got this close to interviewing Sean Baker because I loved Denora. So the minute I saw it, I reached out to him and I almost got it, but I understandably super busy schedule right now. So
Yeah,
hopefully one day, I'm like hoping down the line when
yeah,
the press dies down for the film, like I'm able
yeah,
to do it
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
that
He
film
seems
was
like a
so
really cool
good.
guy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see you in a role like that because I really think for Mikey Madison, like I loved her already from Scream, but then to
Yes.
get to
Yeah.
see her, like you said, like in a way that I didn't expect to see, in the story also was
Mhm.
completely different from what I thought was going to happen, and also what I was
Mm.
hoping was going to happen for her.
Yeah.
So it was such an interesting film.
Yes. Completely
Oh my
agree.
gosh.
Yeah.
So this was like one of your first big roles right out of drama school.
Yeah.
What school did you go to, and when and how did you decide that you wanted to get into acting?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I went to arts ed school, and I graduated just after like the COVID years. So, yeah, it was a pretty weird like start into the industry. So I'm super grateful for, what I've done out of that. And then, oh God, you know what? I've just always been such a show off. I just feel like ever since I was a little girl, I just always wanted to um you know perform. And yeah, I'm trying to think of that like moment. Oh yeah, so when I was younger I was really into like art, and I was going to go to art school, or it was drama school. And I remember I had an interview with this art teacher, and he was like, well, like, when you're like sat there painting, and you'll see the drama students, won't you be like, oh, I want that? And I just thought in my head, like, you're so right. Like, I'm trying to like hide away when I just need to be on the stage. So I think it was that moment where that teacher said to me, like, think about this. Like, so yeah.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad that teacher had that talk with you because it
Yeah,
changed,
yeah.
the trajectory of what you ended up doing. So that's incredible. You had someone
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. He challenged me, so that was good.
Oh, that's great. So when you signed on to do Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, were you already familiar with the Blood and Honey films?
Yeah, so I heard of them, and like so did like all my friends and family, and they were like, "Oh my God, this is so cool." And I was like, "Yeah." And then I watched the first. I remember I saw bits of the first one, and I hadn't seen the second one, and then I got invited to the premiere, and oh my goodness, wow. I was just so like blown away by like, I mean, the production of it, the acting, the actors, like the whole thing was so like another level. I was like, this is like, I'm so excited for Peter Pan now. Like, it's like, it just like, this was such a huge step up. And, Scott says that as well. And yeah, I was so excited for it after watching the number two. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I loved Blood and Honey too. I actually got to host some Q&As here in LA at the AMC at City
Uh,
Walk. It's like at Universal Studios. And so I got
yeah.
to like do a Q&A with like Lewis, who plays Tigger, and with
Yes.
the composer Andrew Scott Bell. It was so fun to have everyone there and to be in a theater where everyone was like cheering for the kills and laughing and having a fun
Oh my
time.
goodness. It was so horrible, but so much fun. Like, it was just a real like when it's like old school theatre and they were like booing and yaying and like this is like what cinema should be like. It was so visceral, and I just yeah, I think that's what the movies is missing at the moment.
Mhm. Yeah, I love being in a theater where everyone's just like enjoying it. Yesterday, I took my sister to see Wicked. I
Yeah.
know it's been out for a month, but she was sick, so we weren't able to go earlier. So I finally took her to see it. It was my third time seeing it,
Oh my
but
goodness, love it.
I love it so much. And people, it was a full theater, even though it's a month old, right? And people were laughing and like cheering and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, it's just so different from when you watch a movie at home on your couch by yourself. So I
Mm,
always encourage people to go see things in
yeah.
theaters, which is why, especially with this film, because it's an indie horror film, and it's only for 3 days, it's important to go out and support this film. So I'm
Mm,
just so excited for this to release. And
yes.
another question, I know that we talked a little bit about some of the horror films that you enjoy, but do you have like a favorite horror film that comes to mind?
Yes. And actually this role was also the yeah, it's Silence of the Lambs. And honestly, like Clarice, like that character, so good. And again, it's a psychological horror, which I think that's what I like the best.
Yeah.
I do like my ghost horrors as well. I do like a ghost story, but I love a psych and yeah, I love a psychological horror. And oh, like yeah, I watched it with my partner the other day, and he'd never watched it, and still I was like, oh, trying not to give everything away, but it's so good. And her
Oh,
last
so
scene,
fun.
yeah, and like her last scene where she's got the gun. I remember watching it because I had similar moments in the film, and I was just like watching it and like analyzing her performance, and yeah,
Such a good
so good.
film. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
so
that one.
yeah.
So you also briefly touched on how your friends and family also knew about the Blood and Honey films, but the minute you got cast as Wendy Darling and you started to tell, your close friends and your family, how did they react and what did you do to celebrate getting cast in this role?
Oh my goodness. I remember like Scott messaging me like straight away after my audition tape. I think I'm allowed to say this. It was actually a scene from not Midsummer.
Oh,
And when Florence Pugh's on the phone, and he was just like really wanted emotional. And I just love, yeah, I love Florence Pugh, and yeah, I loved that script that he gave me. So just went for it. And then he messaged me the next day, and I was like, oh my goodness, like this director is like messaging me. And yeah, he was like, we loved your performance. And then literally a few hours later, I got it, we got the job. So it was such a quick turnaround. But also when Scott wants something, he's like that. He's like, nope, that's it, I'm done. So I was like, oh my God, are you
no,
sure?
and he has such a good eye for talent too, which is like
Yeah.
another, speaking of all of his strengths, like everyone that's in this film, whether it's Martin as Peter Pan or Peter as Michael Darling, your brother, who we'll talk about in a second, I just feel
Hmm.
like this film is perfectly cast and just everyone really plays the roles that they are cast in so well.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was amazing. Oh yeah, he's so good. But yeah, what you were saying, yeah, I literally remembered I was sat next to my sister and I was like, oh my God, I think I've got a role. I just screamed. Um, and yeah, and then I just told people, I don't know, I think you always want to like also like play it down and be like, yeah, I've got this. And then inside I'm like screaming. But
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
it's really casual. Yeah.
That is so exciting. Yeah, I don't even know how I would react to something like that, but it's just so
Yeah.
so cool that it was such a quick turnaround too, because then you don't have to stress out about it or wonder or it just makes it
Mm.
so much easier and smoother.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, there was like, thank God there wasn't like 5 rounds. So yeah, it was great.
So when preparing for this role, did you have like a playlist of music to get into character? Did you rewatch the animated version, kind of just like to study the character? What did you do to prepare for this role?
So I didn't actually watch the animated version. I was going to, but I actually thought like this. I didn't want to like feel a connection to that Wendy. I was like, this is my own Wendy. And then yeah, so um I used a lot of music, especially for like those very high emotional scenes where we were in this haunted house, like it was a literal haunted house we filmed in, where they would host ghost tours in the evening. So I mean, yes, I was just loving this music and I was like, wait, what was that? Um Oh my God, what was the soundtrack? What's that? I forgot about it now. The Amy Adams film,
Oh,
the Aliens. And it was like
Arrival, right?
what? Arrival. So I had the whole soundtrack of Arrival, and it was the arrival of when it was that sound, wah, 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 and that building was like, but that soundtrack really helped me with all those scenes because it was like an impending doom, which I just felt like so much of Wendy's fear just comes from this shame that she has of like she's failed her brother, she's failed her family, and it's more of like instead of like a crazy sound, it's more of like this build of like doom impending her. And that sound was perfect for it. Um, and yeah, and then I used a lot of this type of acting called PEM, which uses different organs and breath, and you connect into them, and it helps you create emotion, but in a safer way rather than something more method.
Oh, that's really interesting. Is that something that you learned at your school?
No, it's
Oh,
actually something that I learned just doing a class in London. It's if anyone's watching and they're it's called Camp Acting Method, and it's actually originated from Germany. And I did like a few courses on it here. And instead of like method acting, where I think sometimes for some people it can maybe be a little bit dangerous, this is like a very safe way where it just like cuts it off. Like you, it's very like meditative, and you breathe into like your heart, and you imagine the energy like going forward, and that's like joy. Or fear is like your organs getting pulled backwards. It's very woo woo, but it worked for this for the level of like high emotion I had to access like every day. So
oh,
it was
wow.
a safe way to do that. Yeah.
No, I think that's like fascinating. That's really cool that you
Yeah.
did that. I think that's
Yeah.
really interesting.
Just for this, it was really useful. I think for more naturalistic stuff,
Mhm.
it's a bit big, but for this, it was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that is perfect. So you
Yeah.
play the big sister to Michael Darling, who is played by Peter D'Souza Feeney. And
Yeah.
I think he's incredible too. Like I loved his performance and I love the chemistry between you guys. I thought you played such a
Oh.
good protective, big sister to her or to him, sorry. And
Mm.
what do you remember from meeting him for the first time? And did you guys have any activities off screen to like build that sibling relationship?
Oh, he's just so cool. He's way cooler than me. And I didn't want to be like too like, hi, we're gonna be playing brother and sister. I was like, yeah, so how you doing? Like, I just tried to be as cool as him. Um, but yeah, no, we just got on really well. And I think yeah, we're just chatting for ages about films and movies and horror because he does like absolutely love horror. And um in between takes, like if he like wanted to like try and get emotional, I'd help him out with that, and I'd help him with like breath work and stuff like that. And I didn't want to treat him any differently than I would treat any other professional actor. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want to baby him or anything like that. I just thought, no, you are a professional actor, and I'm going to treat you exactly the same as everyone else. So yeah.
Oh, that's great. I think that's very respectful, and I think that helps with the brother-sister
Yeah.
bonding.
Yeah, and especially with like teenage and young adult actors, like I don't want them to feel like they are less because they are literally younger. We're
Mhm.
all here, we're all working. Yeah.
So something that I was very curious about, and this is like such a random question too,
Yeah.
but in the film, your character kind of forgets that it's Michael's birthday.
Yeah.
Have you ever forgotten in real life somebody's birthday?
Oh my goodness. I'm so forgetful. But I don't think I have.
Oh, that's great. Okay,
Um
good
yeah,
answer.
I don't think I have. I've forgotten many things, but yeah, not that.
I feel like with calendars, like on our phones, and also with, social media reminding people it's someone's birthday, it's so much harder to forget someone's birthday now than it used to be like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Like, oh God, and my mum, like, she makes such a big deal of all our birthdays, so
Oh,
I would never forget. um,
okay, great.
so there's
And
reminders always. So yeah,
you can never forget your twin's birthday because it's the same as
yeah,
yours. So you don't have
exactly.
to, there we go. I feel like
Yep.
that's a big part of it too.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly. But Wendy, I think I mean, in the film, like like she has a lot going on, and
Mhm.
She's in a period of her life where she is a little bit selfish. So yeah, it's understandable.
Mhm. And then we know you're coming back as Wendy Darling in Poohniverse Monsters Assemble down the
Yeah.
line. And it's going to be bringing in all these fairy tale creatures from Blood and Honey and from Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. And then down the line, we have Bambi, Pinocchio. Is there a character that you would most like to share a scene with?
Oh, um, maybe Pinocchio. Um, I know he's like Scott's already sort of told me what this Pinocchio character's like. And I just think it would be interesting like how they both um interact and like whether Wendy can use her like her sort of like her heart and like her endearing powers to sort of make him a real boy. I don't know. I don't know or something. Maybe
No,
I don't
that's good.
know.
I
I
think
just
that'd
think
be really
maybe
fun.
yeah, I just think like Wendy, especially at the end of the film, like she's turned very like boss bitch. Um, but like, the reason why she succeeded through this is because she's led with her heart. So I think maybe there might be interesting to see them both together. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great answer. And also, it's such a cool animatronic puppet. Like, I would want to share as much screen time with that creature as
Yeah,
possible. It's so cool
yeah,
looking.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that's it's so amazing. Like just seeing a few clips of it. I mean, it's wow, it's incredible. Yeah.
Ah, well, Megan, I can't thank you enough for taking the time out of your busy schedule, especially
Oh,
just days before Christmas to join me. So thank you
I
so
know.
much for being here. And I know everyone's gonna want to know where's a good place to keep up with all your upcoming projects and follow you. Like, what's your Instagram handle?
Oh yeah, my Instagram handle is Megan Rose Placito. So that's Placito.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for being here. And everybody, especially in the US, go check out Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, which will be releasing January 13th through 15th from Iconic Events Releasing. Megan, thank you so much and Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas. Oh, thank you. Hopefully we'll talk again soon.
Yes, thank you.
Gorgeous.
Bye.
Bye.